Hello farmers, welcome back to No Man's Land. We have moved on to the month of October, which means the corn is ready. Been rather busy between episodes, cleaning up the farm, moving things around. Let's see, let's start over by the old sheep pen, which has been sold. So has the shed that was over there has been sold. All the hay that was over there has been moved over to, well, the only hay shed that we got now over by the cow barn. So that's been taken care of. I've been moving pallets around the furniture shop. Have a seat has been all taken care of. The donut shop has been filled up with eggs, sugar, and I feel like there was something else I brought over there, but I can't remember right now because I've been doing just a lot of moving around. Just taking the equipment, putting them back under sheds, cleaning up, repairing, what have you. Just doing a whole bunch of stuff like that. But anyways, today, as you can see, we're in our brand new Kubota. And we got our water tanker, and we're going to go over and take care of the cows first thing this morning. So we are now up to like 120 cattle or so. And with this cow barn that we have, it looks like we're going to have to feed them once a month, which is once every day. We fed them last episode, which was September, and already all their numbers are down in the red. I may have to be careful when we get up to 150 cattle. I may have to go ahead and feed them twice in a month, or twice a day. So we'll just have to keep our eye on that. But looking at the numbers, though, we did get 7,000 liters of milk overnight, which is pretty darn good considering, you know, what we used to get in the past. But as we get more and more mature cows, we're just going to get more and more milk a little bit faster. I noticed this morning as well when I came over to get the Kubota, the grass field is ready to be cut, which is good. I'm not sure if I have enough hay. I would like to probably do some more silage, but I think to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and make some more hay. Just because with the new sheep pasture, getting up to 190 sheep or whatever it is, yeah, we're going to have more sheep, so they're going to require more hay. So I just want to make sure we're all set on that front here. Please stop off. Oh, good, you did. All right, so that is taken care of. Let's drop off our little water tanker there. Let me come over to here, and we're going to make sure the cows are good to go. Because I don't want to forget about the cattle. That's kind of important for us. Let's see. Looks like our mixer doesn't have nothing in it, so we're going to have to top that off. And then once we get this taken care of, we're going to go ahead and move some more pallets around. I might bring some of the, I almost said cotton, but it's actually the wool that our sheep have made, bring that on down to tight knit, because all the wool that was over at the old sheep pen, that's been brought over to tight knit, and we're making fabric, and that's going to be brought over to So What, so we can make some clothing for the wonderful April sale that we usually have. And then we got to bring the raisins over to the cereal factory because, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start making cereal today, because we got the corn harvest to go ahead. Looks like we're out of this wonderful stuff. Mineral feed. Let's try to blank what it was. It's mineral feed. Do I actually need it in here? Building storage. It doesn't say 0 on mineral feed, which is kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure for that to run, I'm going to need mineral feed. Where is that? Let me go ahead and turn off. Looks like we're done making butter and chocolate, so I'll have to turn that off. One thing I haven't tried out yet to see if a building's out of material, does it still charge you the money per hour to run? I have no idea. Yeah, mineral feed. We definitely need mineral feed for this to run. So I'll have to get to that at some point today. I don't know if it'll be this episode or not, but we'll see what we can get done. I've done a little bit of landscaping with all the other stuff I've done. I removed the trees that were in front of here because, well, trying to back up into the hay barn, hay shed and all that stuff, those little pine trees were just always getting in the way. So got rid of those. Overall, I spent maybe about an hour, hour and a half or so taking care of some things before I got recording today. Do they require any bedding, straw? They're probably okay. Get this number back on up. So just about full. So they're good. For how long? I'm not too sure. I think the bedding they're fine on. If they run out of bedding, the only thing we won't get is solid manure, which is over here. And we're already back up to 34,000 liters. I think, I don't remember what month it was, but we just barely brought down some manure to the BGA to get that processed. And I think our BGA is pretty much out of material to be processed for a while, which is fine. Money-wise, we are doing just fine. Nothing to really worry about. I think the only tractor I got over here currently that I'm going to use is the Kubota, which is fine because it's a new tractor. It'd be nice to give a good workout. When I mean workout, we're just going to go ahead and transport some stuff around. It was really just meant to be to work around the cow shed, but you know what? The Deutz-Fahr, the McCormick, they're all over at the other barn, or at the other farm, so... And our auto-loading trailer is right here. I mean, this does have 140 horse. Did I put the 140 horsepower engine in here? I may have. So I'm thinking this winter we're going to go ahead and... I don't know if I'll have the money yet, but if I don't, we'll go ahead and lease one. Tree harvester, the logging trailer, and we're going to start removing some, well, I say some, hopefully a lot of these trees. I'm going to put down another sawmill because I would like to just make the logs into planks, and we'll probably just go ahead and sell the planks right out of that sawmill. But I'm going to put it down somewhere over here and probably take down the trees over by the vineyard because we need to expand on the vineyard a little bit. As we saw 10,000 liters of grapes. I know a lot of you said I should have mulched it before. I mean, once the grass grew tall enough, I should have mulched it. It's kind of funny that I never got the notification when I walked into the vineyard to mulch it. So don't know, but we'll get on top of that next year. Not going to matter too much currently, so we'll just wait. Yeah, so the only thing about the Kubota is top speed is 26 miles an hour, which is okay. It's a farming vehicle. It's not a Ferrari or anything like that, so we'll just go. I don't know if we processed all of our grapes last night or not, but we can see we got some sitting out there. I just got to bring them from there over to here, and the reason why I don't have it on distribute is because we have the big red barn, and the big red barn would hog some of the grapes as well, and I don't want that to happen. I know a few people have said, well, you got the big red barn, why put down the cereal factory? Why put down this factory? Just because. I want to show off kind of what the base game buildings look like, even though they're not really truly the base game factories, and the reason behind that is because we're using the no handcuffs mod, which multiplies everything by 5, so they can store 5 times as much, and they produce 5 times faster. Alright, let's go over here and get some raisins. There's 3,000. I should get 10,000 liters. I think it's for every liter you put in, you get 1 liter out for raisins. 11,000? I thought we had a 10,000 liter harvest. Or was it a little bit more? Where's the grapes? Raisins. Or yeah, raisins. Yep, we are out. So let's go ahead and deactivate that. How much slurry we got left? So the BGA still is processing slurry, but it doesn't seem like it takes a slurry as much. Yeah, there's no slurry in here in the fermenters. Oh well, I mean, it'll take it and process it however and whenever it wants to. I should have made this a drive-around building. I thought it was. That's why I was going around that way. It is not, so we'll come around this way. See, all the leaves are changing on the trees that we have placed down. I kind of forgot where the drop-off point is. Is it here? Yes, it is. And there we go. Is there anything else I need to do? Oh, yes. While we're down here, let's head on over to the Dairy Godmother and pick up some butter and chocolate. First stop will be the donut shop. Now, I do believe the donut shop is out of milk. So at some point today, I'll have to bring the Mac Anthem on down with a trailer load. Well, I say trailer load. It'll be a little bit of milk, not a whole lot. Every time I come here, the butter and well, that's loading kind of weird on the auto loader. So 3,000 liters of chocolate and 9,000 liters of butter. Seems kind of odd that it made that ratio, but whatever. It's all the trees that you see changing the leaves where the color's changing. Those are decorational trees that we put in. And it's too bad that doesn't count as when you go to the stat page how many trees you planted, because those are actually considered decorations. So I don't know how many trees we put down, but I would say at least a couple hundred at this point. But we are going to be putting down a different sawmill than the one that we currently have on the other side. I'm hoping the sawmill takes a lot of lumber, a lot of logs. So I want to cut down a whole lot of trees and expand on the vineyard, like I said, in the springtime. And possibly get into olives as well. I know a few of you have said yes, on the vineyard, horseplay can work. I'm not sure if it does it automatically, or is that a course you have to set up. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. So if you're unfamiliar with courseplay, you can set up, you can have a course recorded as you drive around. And that could be one easy way to do it. I'll have to fiddle with it sometime when I get some time in between episodes. You gonna take all of it? Nah, okay. So this butter can be brought on up to Bread Pit. And I'll probably just leave the Kubota and trailer there for now, because I might want to go ahead and sell some cakes. I did check the store this morning, by the way, and there's a few things that are somewhat interesting, but there's a Massey Ferguson 7000 series in there. We don't need a tractor like that. I'm not putting down the Massey Ferguson. It's the horsepower range it's in. So it's like the 200-ish, 2 to 300-ish horsepower range, which is something that we don't really require here currently. I did pick up the cake. Oh well. I'll leave it there. Maybe we'll come back down and sell them later on. Alright, so I think that's all the running around I needed to do this morning before we got to harvesting. And my combine is over here. Had to put some diesel into it because we were low. Oh, and the wheat field, as you can see in front of us, that has already germinated, and that is growing. And speaking of things that are growing, the one thing that's growing is our fleet. I could really use a decent shed to be put in the bigger vehicles. I'm running out of room to park things in certain areas. But the thing I gotta think about is, where do I put it down? Because, well, I could probably find a generalized central area. Maybe that would help. Let's go ahead and unfold our combine. So, when we got this Lexion, we tried this sunflower / corn header. As we all know, we had some issues with it with the 9T, the Ideal 9T. And testing it out, it seemed to work just fine. So hopefully when we come over here and start actually harvesting with it, it doesn't affect it too much. So about 100,000 liters of this corn is going to go into the cereal factory to match the amount of canola we put in there. And then a lot of it can go on down to the pig food mixer. And if I have enough left over, I could actually bring some more to the big red barn and start making some more popcorn. So we can see as we're harvesting here with a 12-meter wide corn header, the RPMs are not in the red. And we are doing fine everywhere else. And of course, once we get this field cleared on out, the Deutz Far will come on over. We'll start subsoiling the ground, so that way we don't get no weeds. And then of course we'll have to pick up the stones. You know the routine. Then after that, then of course it's a matter of maybe spreading some lime down. And then digestate. Although we don't have that much digestate either. It seems like we got a lot, but then again we don't. Actually, I wonder how the pH value is in this field here. It says it's okay. So this over here, if we look at the pH value where we haven't harvested yet, 6.5 is considered good. 6.75 would be perfect, and we have dropped down to 6.25, which is okay. So it's not too bad. The first place I got to spread lime down before anywhere else is where up in our sunflower field where we created the new fields, or the new extension of the current field that we have. So I definitely want to make sure I take care of that first. And then any extra lime that we have left over, we can go ahead and do any fields that we see fit. So it looks like the corn harvest is doing okay. I think I'll be full before I get the first headland done. But definitely the first load of corn is going to the cereal factory. And then I'll try to judge it on from there, because we don't actually need 100,000 liters in the cereal factory, because we're going to run out of raisins before anything else. We got plenty of honey. We got plenty of canola. We can have plenty of corn. It's the raisins that came up rather short. And that's why this winter, where the vineyard is, all those trees to one side, it's a nice little hilly area there, and that's why we'd like to extend the field, or the vineyard. But definitely in the future would like to use course play over there. I mean, at first, like anything when something's new, and vineyard and orchard work in an olive grove is kind of new to the game, it's interesting and fun at first, but then after a while, depending on your gameplay and how you see a game, it may not be that much fun anymore. It's kind of like when the most recent experience I can remember is when 19 came out, Farming Simulator 19, and horses were added. At first, everyone's like, oh, got to get a horse stable. And everyone's like, oh, we get to ride the horses around, and that's how you train them and get more money. And after you do it like once or twice, at least for me, and I think I would speak on behalf of most people, it was like, okay, that's kind of wearing a little thin. I don't want to really be doing that as often as I am. And that's why most of us use the mod Horse Helper. So, oh, that does remind me, though. We got to get a horse stable down here at some point. Not sure when. I pretty much stopped looking at horse stables a while ago, so I got to kind of find one that looks rather decent and would be rather interesting to use. But when we do horses here, we're not going to be doing the horses to raise and train and sell for profit. We're just doing the horse stable just to have a horse stable. Not to say that if one does get mature enough, we will go ahead and sell it. We'll see when it all comes around. And it could be, you know, starting next spring or whatever. Because financially we're doing just fine. Alright, so 18,000 liters is what this combine can hold. So no sense of right there is good. Let's go ahead and jump into our Mac Anthem truck. Spin her around. Looks like when we planted, I think we had courseplay planting. Some of the corners didn't quite get to the edges, but it's all good. Oh, someone did ask, how come when I pull underneath a trailer, the combine doesn't start automatically unloading? I got the mod to where you actually have to activate the unloading and loading procedure. Unlike in Farming Simulator 19, the combine did not even have to be on for it to unload. All these little features that they brought in the 22 is rather nice. But there's a few things I want to see brought to 22. I know I went on a few weeks ago what was my favorite edition of Farming Simulator right now. I mean, I do prefer 22 over 19, but there's some things in 19 I want to see brought over to 22. One is crop rotation. Now that was a mod for Seasons in 19. Seasons was not in Farming Simulator 19, that was a mod. But they had crop rotation in there, and that affected your yield. And another thing I want to see brought over, which was also part of Seasons, is decomposing. So if you had grass, hay, or straw left out in the elements, it would decompose. Grass would decompose rather quickly, especially if it rained. Then hay, it would decompose, but not as fast as grass. And straw would decompose as well, but at a really slow rate. And if they bring that stuff over, that'd be fabulous, in my opinion anyways. But if they do bring it over, I would like to see that brought over as an option that you can turn on or off if you want to run it. Same way as we do for lime, stone, and weeds. And there might be others that you can turn on or off, but basically, when I do Farming Simulator, most of the time I leave everything turned on. Because I kind of want to experience everything the game has to offer. Plus, I like to be able to do different jobs when we want to. I know a lot of the times we get Frank, Francine, Frank Jr., and the whole Frank family working on other jobs at the time, but you know, if we feel like stone picking someday, we can go ahead and do some stone picking or whatever. So I should be able to get a whole trailer load, which is 60,000 liters of corn off this field. Possibly even more. So let me do a couple more passes around here. Get that trailer full. Then we'll head on over to the cereal factory. And we should be able to turn that on and start making some cereal. Now, the only thing is, cereal doesn't make... I don't want to say it doesn't make, it's hard to know, because I really, you got to really look at the math. But the cereal sells for like $2,500 per. So, hopefully, it makes a lot of it. I don't know. We will see anyways. Alright, let me go do some more harvesting of the corn. Fill up that trailer. And we'll be on our way. Trailer is full, combine's almost full, so that means 60,000 liters in the trailer, and of course 18,000 liters in the combine. And I still got a good amount of corn to get through here. I'm kind of hoping I can get this little part done before filling up. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, close. Of course, I just got to back out of here, and when I come back with a trailer, I'll be able to unload. I'll leave the pipe out. Just to remind myself, we're done harvesting corn for the episode. Weeds are growing, needs plowing, needs rolling, needs all that stuff. But we'll take care of it. Hopefully I don't run anything to something scary in the cornfield. Should make a corn maze. Where am I? There we are. I knew it was somewhat heading in the right direction. Alright, so was it 58,400 liters this holds? 59,400 liters it holds. Alright, so there is a road out there. I'm not sure what I don't know what I wanted to do with this area right here. I think about expanding this field, or I don't know if I want to make a second field, or I'm not sure if I want to put in a residential area right here. I'm kind of leaning towards a residential area. We only got one so far, and it's only like, was it like 10 houses or so? I think it's time to get some more housing on down. We got office buildings in front of us, but we need more of a residential area, I think. Take the corners slowly so we don't tip over. Another thing I haven't tried yet, I did it once on Elm Creek, and it's the, well, new feature to 22, where you can hire a worker to drive a tractor from one part of the map to the other. But seeing that No Man's Land really only had that main road coming like from the store down to where the cabin originally is, if you put down roads like we have, I wonder if a worker knows that like this is a road. So if I were like to hire a worker from the cow barn to go over to the main farm, would they know where the roads are? Or are they just going to cut straight across a map? I may have to test that out. Not that this is a feature I would like to use, but you know, may become helpful to you guys if you're doing the same thing. And maybe a lot of you already know this or not, but I don't. And I haven't seen anyone try it yet. Alright, so here's where the corn goes. So while it's unloading, let's go right on into production buildings at the bottom here. We should already be here somewhere. Cereal, right here. So we got honey. And I probably got more honey where that came from. But we actually got about this. We got enough honey to cover the raisins because it takes the same amount of honey as it does raisins. So I got more honey than raisins, and we don't have any more raisins. So we're good on the honey. And of course, we got 100,000 liters. I said canola before, I think. I meant to say oats. We have oats in here. So, and we need the same amount of oats as corn. So I'm going to try to do that. Anyways, let's go ahead and activate that. And of course, we're going to put this on storing. Yeah, because I don't want to sell it or distribute it anywhere. So let's go ahead and put that in storing. Look, we already got 8 liters of cereal. That's doing great. So let me go ahead and, well, I'll tell you what. This will be the perfect time to try this. Let me try going into here. We'll try this truck out here. No, I got to do this. And then create job. Not follow me. Load and deliver. Go to. All right, let's try this here. Target position. I forgot kind of how to do this here. Target position is pick a target position. Start job. Let's see what he does. Yeah, so they're just going to cut straight across the map. Anyways, if they cut straight across the map, are they going to know where the trees are and everything? And rocks? Okay, that's not bad. You kind of knew there's a rock there. You missed the building. But as for taking... Well, are you going to turn right there? I mean, it's interesting. I mean, can it do it? It looks like it knows where placeable objects are to go around it. Now, are you going to park up beside the combine like I kind of asked you to? Or what are you going to do here? The only thing that worries about... Can I dismiss the worker if I'm in? Yes, I can. Just in case, I don't want them to start driving into the crops. Although I think a hired worker driving in crops will not cause crop destruction. Alright, you're doing well. Yeah, okay, we'll just dismiss you there. Well enough. Well enough. But I was kind of hoping it was going to take the road from the cereal factory up and down and around. Didn't quite do that. It looks like it knew where some roads were, but maybe it was going to Because on the map, this road here from the store all the way down to here is the original road that goes to your cabin. That would be right here. So, I don't know. But it was kind of interesting to watch that, do that anyways. Anyways, we're going to jump into... Nope, wrong button. Got to do this. Into our Deutzfire. Take a little break from the corn harvesting, which wasn't too long so far, but... Going to mix it on up here. And we're going to grab our lime spreader. Which I may just call the banana trailer because I went yellow. I thought it was going to be interesting. And it is kind of a little bit interesting color. But everything's yellow on that right now. So yeah, we got a full, we'll just call it 23,000 liters of lime. And we're going to go up and take care of our sunflower field. And that's what's going to be planted there next year. And before we plant, or after we plant, I haven't figured out when, that's when we'll put down the small beehives. And I'm going to try to do it and try to figure out the 150 meter radius every time I put one down, try to distribute them evenly if I can. As we saw on the other ones, the 150 meter radius is not as big as you once think. Like those two beehives there, in case you missed the episode, they're barely touching either field. So, yeah, there's that. Wow, this field looks huge now when you come up here. It looks humongous. So this part of the field here doesn't probably need a whole lot of lime because this field is part of the existing field, but I think right about here is where the new field is. So it's going to take a little bit more lime. But right now, we're not going through a whole bunch of it, so that's good. We're going to get a good amount of this field done. And I could have made this field even bigger if I wanted to, but I think it's I think the size we got is just about right for us. And the more fields we get, that's when we might start using 2 combines at a time. I know the 9T we still got parked in the shed. We didn't use it at all this year. Just been sitting there. All I know, what we do know is with that 9T, I cannot use a 12 meter wide corn / sunflower header that we're using today. Those two don't get along that well. On flat surfaces, it's okay. On any hills, no, not whatsoever. Not good at all. For some reason, the 60-foot header works pretty darn good on it, so that's something we could do in the future. But I'm also not going to try to plant every crop that we need to make sure all the factories are always running, because that would be a lot of work. But for the most part, we are done with production buildings. I think we're, you know, like I said, unless another mod comes out that looks really, really interesting, we'll go ahead and do that. So say like the donut shop, if that were to come out today, I'd be like, oh, the donut shop, that's something we got to have on the map. Something like that. Speaking of production buildings, I did see this a couple days ago on the Mod Hub. And I know someone's probably going to mention it when we start doing olives. I know someone mentioned it when I was doing the grapes as well. But there is a full-size olive tree that you can get as a production building. And of course it makes olives. And I guess, you know, I haven't tried it, but reading the description and for what it takes, it's going to be kind of like our greenhouses. So basically you put down a full-size olive tree, and then of course you got to give it water, seed, and some type of fertilizer, and basically it'll make olives for you. Simple as that. So if you don't want to do an olive grove, but you want the olives for, I guess mainly for oil at this point. I don't know of any other production that would require olives currently, unless it's a modded one I haven't seen. But yeah, if you're looking to do olives or something of that nature, there is one on the Mod Hub. And it just came out, well, if you're seeing this on, this video goes out on Monday. I had to think about that for a second. It's probably been, that mod's been out for about a week or so. By the time you see this video when it goes live anyways. Alright, so I'm actually kind of pleased we're not going through as much lime as I thought we might be doing over here. So we're going to get a good amount of this field done. And we are still making some lime in our stone crusher, and we'll be getting more stones from our cornfields that we're harvesting. Not a whole lot, but we'll get some of the fields done. I would say, though, that the stone crusher has done us rather well. We've really not had to go buy lime down at the main store for anything. And the fields that we are putting lime down on, it does say the pH value is okay. So it's not like in a bad state, but it does hurt the yield a little bit. But it's not like the fields are in desperate need of lime. Oh, this field will take a good amount of lime, though. I'm guessing about 50,000 liters in total, which might be all of my stock that I have. But once I pick up the stones from the cornfield, I might be able to get the other sunflower field done too. So what I'm thinking, or have been thinking, these fields up here will remain the sunflower, canola, and maybe potatoes fields. And the reason why those three is because of the beehives. The fields down by the BGA will probably be just corn. And the reason why I'm picking corn for being down there is because the corn header folds up. So traveling down from the main farm down to there is not too bad with a header that folds up. If I were to bring the 60-foot header down with no traffic, it's not a problem. But for realism, you probably want to bring it down on the trailer. So by having the corn down there, I can just drive like the Lexion down there with the corn header folded up. Not a problem. And all the fields around the main farm and maybe the cow barn in the future can be the cereal crop type fields. Just easier to get the 60-foot header down those roads without having to go around too many objects. But that's the plan. But as we know around here, plans do change. Time I get done with this field, it's going to look like it snowed up here. But I am looking forward to... I always say I'm looking forward to. It seems like every episode I'm looking forward to doing something next year on the map. But getting down another sawmill and getting a tree harvester and start really cutting down a lot of these trees here. But expanding the vineyard is one thing. And yeah, probably start making some room or a place to put down a horse stable. Now horses in 19, I haven't done horses yet here in 22, but in 19 they required oats, hay, and water, basically, in straw for bedding. I don't know what they require in 22. But I'm going to assume it's the same. Of course, depending on if you get a modded stable or what have you. And I'm not looking for anything huge for a horse stable. I'm not looking for a stable that holds 100 horses or whatever. I mean, a half dozen to a dozen horses, something like that, maybe. Just so we can have one of every breed of horse. And wasn't there 6 breeds of horses? 5 breeds, 6 breeds, something like that. Well, I did get a lot more of this field done than I thought I would with 23,000 liters of lime. But expanding this field here when we go to harvest sunflowers next time, we'll be able to make a lot more sunflower oil. And right now, that does remind me, though, I do have a greenhouse that we're making sunflower seeds in. And those may need to be brought over. I don't know if the greenhouse is full or not at this point. I keep thinking, oh, it's going to be one more pass and I'll be empty, and I keep making pass after pass after pass, and we're still going. But I don't think I'll be able to finish the field with what we have left. Well, that's not too bad. I was starting to think maybe I will finish the field. Not quite. Not quite. Almost there. But the good news is, I thought, you know, halfway through, I'm like, oh, it's going to require 50,000 liters. No, that's 23,000 liters and probably another 3,000 or 4,000 liters, and that field will be done. But that means after I top this off, I can come back over here and get this field done as well. Yeah, I think I know. Originally, I think I was going to put the house behind the farm. And I was going to put the horse stable across from the farm, but I may go ahead and put the horse stable where the house originally in my plan was going to go. So we could put it there. I don't know when we'll get to it, because I don't want to put down the horses until... Well, I can put down the stable. I just won't have to get... I won't get horses until we have food for them. Like I said, got depending on what mod or base game stable that we put down and what it requires. Then we'll get horses, make sure once we have the feed and everything that we need. You want to open up there? I said open up, thank you. Whoops. I'm not sure how much lime I have in here, but I think I got enough to go ahead and top this off. Actually, I'm kind of curious now how much lime I got left. Production building. Alright, so after that, I still got enough for another full load. Well, that works out for us. That means I can get a lot of fields done. Just not anymore in this episode. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for today, guys. We got a good amount done. We got a lot of pallets moved around. We should be... No, we're not quite ready to make donuts yet. We'll go ahead and take care of the donut factory next episode, because we're not done here. And the donut factory does need milk only, I believe. Where is the donut factory? Yeah, milk is the only thing we're kind of low on. Well, low on. We don't have any of. And then we'll be able to make our strawberry and chocolate donuts. And I don't know how Bread Pit is doing. Let's go up to Bread Pit, because they're making cakes. They can make cakes a little bit longer. Ooh, but they're running low on butter as well. But if they do, they do. Not much we can really do about it. And but yeah, we'll take care of it a little bit next time. And we're out of flour, so let me go ahead and deactivate that. And actually, this lumber mill is out of wood to make into planks. But let's see, how are we doing here? Oh yeah, have a seat. It's got plenty of planks in it until we can get to it. So I'll just turn that off. So yeah, tree harvesting coming here soon. Actually, let's have a look here. Let's see, this was for sale. Actually, the Massey Ferguson looks like it's sold or gone. We got a Rosslamash. What's the horsepower on that? 375 horsepower. Nope. We're going to hold off on that. And then, of course, we got ourselves a... I don't want to call it a forage wagon. This is a tipper trailer for your forage wagon material, like grass, hay, straw, silage, sugarcane. And this is a spader for plowing fields. But we're actually in here. Look at tree harvesters. Forestry machinery. Let's see. Looks like they start at Komatsu, a 435. This machine can cut down trees. Yeah, but is there... If I remember, there was a tree that cuts down... It may not cut down the biggest of trees. Not too sure. But this is the one I'm used to using. The Ponzi. I've not used this brand before. Alright, so obviously we don't have the cash for it, but if I were to lease one, how much does it cost to lease? Okay. Yeah. I don't know why that surprised me like that. I mean, when you see the price up near $500,000, of course it's going to be rather expensive. No, I don't want to lease that yet. Maybe we'll find the cash in order to buy one. And of course, the logging trailer that we lease once in a while, that is a cheap trailer. I think it's only like 25 grand for it. Maybe, I don't remember. And I don't want to look it up now because that's enough for the tree harvester to get a man thinking. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in No Man's Land. But until then, have a good one.